What's going on, guys? It's Steve Letty from Pure Evil MMA, frontproofmedia.com, and MMA UK, coming at you live after Demetrius Mighty Mouse Johnson and Wilson Reis go at it in a 3-round war. Actually, I can't even say it was a war. I mean, Reis did a great job in that fight, but DJ was just dominant once again, looking for all those clinches where he was just picking his shots where it really hurts the most. Reis was just hurt so bad in that fight. So we're going to be recapping that in just a little bit here. Amazing night between Michelle Waterson getting tapped out by Namajunas. I mean, I'm pretty upset about it. I'm pretty upset about that fight, but I'm really not surprised. I mean, you can say that they put Michelle Waterson in the front lines a little too quick. I mean, the Paige Van Zandt fight made a lot of sense to me, but Namajunas, man, I mean, maybe they should have gapped it one fight in between there with Karate Hottie. I mean, they could have marketed her a little more before she got her first loss, because she's a tough chick, and there's a lot of girls I wanted to see her matched up against. Of course, this was one of the best competitions where she can really display her skills against somebody that's actually just as equal, if not growing, every time she steps in there. Namajunas has done an amazing job. We've seen nothing but Rose improve every time she's in there. Look at the fight with Tecia Torres that she had on that Ultimate Fighter. She goes back and fights her again and ends up coming out on top. Last time that she lost was against who was the last person? Karolina Kowalkiewicz, who ended up going on to fight for Joanna. At that point in time, I didn't think Rose was ready for the fight against Joanna, but at this point, you gotta say the winner of Joanna Jędrzejczyk versus Jessica Andrade has to fight Namajunas. It's only fair. What will they do with the Karate Hottie? I'm not sure. There's a lot of interesting matchups that we can talk about. We're going to discuss that fight in just a second. Amazing job by Robert Whittaker tonight, though, getting that win over Jacare. Not a lot of people saw that coming. Jacare is a fierce guy. The only time that I ever was really snoozed off in one of Jacare's fights was recently, actually against his fight against Yoel, where it did lose that fight, but there was a lot of controversy behind it. So Robert Whittaker, man, Ted called it. Ted called this fight to come out on top for Robert Whittaker. We tried getting him on the show to talk to everybody. Fortunately, we couldn't get it done. So let's talk about our main event. I'm sure that's where everyone wants to talk. Demetrius Mighty Mouse Johnson gets the win, tying Anderson Silva for that legendary 10 title defenses. Now, this means if Demetrius Mighty Mouse Johnson can get one more, he will top the record books. And he said it tonight. He was like, I am the best champion inside the cage. And I gotta agree to disagree here. I mean, Anderson Silva did a phenomenal job. It's just two different things when you're talking about two different weight classes. At that certain weight class, yes, Demetrius Mighty Mouse Johnson is one of the best in the world, maybe one of the best of all times to ever step foot inside the octagon at that weight. Well, I really do want to see the Ian McCall fight, because I do think that Ian McCall did win that first fight there, but that's some talk for another day. DJ going in there tonight, man. He was landing leg kicks early, doing the in and out work. He was really working the kicks, was attacking with that straight right hand, and he defended a couple of takedowns. The volume was just absolutely amazing. Exactly what we expected here. We knew that if they got in the clinch, was Reis going to be the stronger guy? Was he going to be able to take Johnson down and possibly submit him? We did see some struggles in that fight that Johnson had against Tim Elliott, coming off that season Ultimate Fighter. So was Reis going to be experienced enough to get Johnson down, maybe clip him with a right hook? We know he had a strong right hook. Was he going to be able to do it? Well, honestly, every time DJ was able to get the clinch, and we didn't see it until the second round, he was striking in spots that really hurt Reis. And at the third round, you can tell that he was in a really bad place. Very fluent left hands and the leg kicks. Strong finish to that second round, though, with the ground and pound hammer fist. almost finishing him. I mean, if he had an extra minute in there, who knows what would happen. But he finished the second round on top. Going into the third, there was a beautiful knee that he threw after he defended a takedown and landed a very nice head kick. About 2 minutes left into that third round. Ends up getting the takedown with 2 minutes left. Eventually is able to work it with the hammer fist, getting on top of Hayes. And with just 11 seconds left, getting the armbar submission. And while it was going on, I had my girlfriend and her friend in the room. Of course, I was at the edge of my seat screaming at the TV. And I was just like, can you imagine if he gets it with just a couple seconds left here? Me and my girlfriend were going back and forth about it. He gets it with 11 seconds, guys, which we've seen it cut closer in fights, but 11 seconds left in the third round. You can tell Hayes was in a dark place. Not used to those 5-round fights. DJ was really practicing. He knew his cardio's up there, but he was really practicing his strength and conditioning, and definitely showed tonight. And when he was quick, Hayes just kept loading up on that right hand. He was finding some success, but not countering a lot. He was just spewing blood from his eye, bleeding. 22 seconds left into that second round. And in the third round, it just looked like he was just in a tough spot. Not what I really expected for that first round, though. I thought Hayes was going to come at it a little more because, at the same time, it is a 5-round fight. We don't know his game plan as far as how much activity he did in the first. I thought he did a pretty decent job in the first, but DJ, he's just so quick, and that left, and he was even going with the straight right in the second, but mostly in that first round, the left, he was just going in there, getting it, executing the leg kicks. Amazing job for Demetrius Mighty Mouse Johnson. I think there was one takedown by DJ in the second and one takedown by Wilson. But Johnson was able to get right back up, recover, and get right back on the outside, just in and out, in and out. Hayes just could not get the counter shots there. So what did you guys think? And who do you guys think's next? I mean, he ended up coming out saying, listen, of course Dominic Cruz out there saying that he would like a fight, maybe a super fight. I want to see Jimmy Rivera get that super fight. Or it's not a super fight for Jimmy Rivera. I want to see Jimmy Rivera get the Dominic Cruz fight. This week, Rafael Sunsao was just placed up with Marlon Moraes. So you got to ask yourself, who's next for Dominic Cruz? Well, now they're talking Demetrius Mighty Mouse Johnson wants his money fight. They keep placing him on these free Fox cards, but it's only because people don't want to pay the pay-per-view money to see these guys at such a small weight class where it's not usually a finish. It usually goes all 5 rounds. But even though Mighty Mouse has been working it lately, getting the finishes, beating Cejudo, now beating Hayes. The Tim Elliott fight, that was an action-packed fight. We saw a lot of improvements for DJ on the ground, surviving the submission attempt that Elliott had early on in that fight, able to come back. So Demetrius Mighty Mouse Johnson, I mean, there's no one really left in that weight division for him to take on. So who do you guys want to see him fight? Do you want to see him go up to fight Dominic Cruz? He's already lost to him. Is that the intriguing matchup for you guys? I want to see him fight Ian McCall, but every time Ian McCall steps in there, something wrong happens, unfortunately. Trying to get him on the show. He was supposed to come on a couple of months ago. He's been really busy with his podcast or whatever, but last time he got set up, last couple of times Ian McCall, Uncle Creepy, got set up for a fight, something happened. I really want to see the Mighty Mouse Ian McCall fight. That's what I want to see. What do you guys think? Do you want to see him move up to fight Dominic Cruz? Let us know at Pure Evil MMA. Also, guys, I am now part of MMA UK, so definitely check them out. Releasing a lot of great content over there, MMAUK.net. You can also download the app on the Apple Store and also on Google Play. Also, frontproofmedia.com. Give them a huge shout out. Giving the recap for tonight for them right here on Pure Evil MMA. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Make sure you're following us on Twitter. We're always doing the live tweets. So we're going to jump back a fight here. Karate Hottie versus Rose Namajunas. This was the fight I was so intrigued about. I was at the edge of my seat waiting for this for the past couple of weeks here. I actually got to speak with the Karate Hottie before her last fight with Paige Van Zant. In that fight, in that interview, I was telling her, I was like, you should do a dance-off with Paige Van Zant. She actually does do that. And I was telling her, best of skill in that fight. And you know what? Is it a thing of beauty over rankings when it comes to that division of the females? And she had to agree. She didn't want to agree, but she's like, it definitely plays some part in it. I mean, Paige Van Zant, Karate Hottie, and now you got Rose Namajunas going in there. So I think both girls did deserve this fight. I mean, that's kind of bullshit to kind of go in with that saying that this is about beauty. No, Michelle Waterson definitely deserves a spot. And Rose Namajunas showing improvements from her way up on the Ultimate Fighter. This girl doesn't even have a dozen professional fights under her belt. And look at the people that she's been beating lately. Coming back from that season Ultimate Fighter, beating Tecia Torres recently. She did recently lose to Karolina Kowalkiewicz, who went on to fight Joanna Jędrzejczyk, losing 4 out of those 5 rounds in my book. So this was the perfect matchup for her. I mean, after Paige Van Zandt, you could say maybe this was too soon for Karate Hottie to fight Rose. It was a good matchup. It was a great place for Rose to really show her improvement. And if Karate Hottie can come out for a win, I'm sure they would push her for the winner of the UFC 211 winner for that weight division. So it's a scary thing when you get fighters that you really have heartfelt for or you've interviewed before in the past. That's why I really don't like talking too much about it, because you don't want to get too emotionally involved in it, because you could be emotionally biased towards it. We do know that. So that's why Errol probably doesn't make picks. That's why a lot of these guys don't make picks. Brandon Shaw makes his pick, but sometimes he's wrong. And it's a weird position for him because a lot of the guys he's trained with before in the past. But going into it, Karate Hottie had an amazing right kick, Muay Thai stance, early takedown in the fight, defending from the bottom. Rose Namajunas was able to get on top of her. But the side kick, oblique kicks, really judging the range very well in that first round. But Rose Namajunas, big elbows on top. She landed the most important, significant strikes in that fight that really damaged Rose. I mean, really damaged Karate Hottie, which you can say kind of slowed her down. And that's the danger of the Muay Thai stance as well. She did get caught with a beautiful leg kick by Rose Namajunas. She was in that side Muay Thai stance, and she was trying to exit. And Rose just timed it perfectly. Was able to submit Waterson at the end of that second round by rear naked choke. I think she's ready for the title shot. And tonight at the post-fight, Dana White even agreed to it. So you got to say, there's no one else really. I mean, Ted argued this. I mean, there are a couple girls that you can say could fight for a title shot next, but I really do think Rose made all the improvements. It's time for her to fight Joanna Jędrzejczyk, in my opinion. You guys might have a different opinion. Let me know at Pure Evil MMA, and let us know at MMA UK and also frontproofmedia.com. Let us know what you guys think about this main card overall. What do you guys rate it out of 5 stars? We're going to get into that as soon as we wrap this up here. There's a lot of interesting matchups for the Karate Hottie. This doesn't really set her back much. This doesn't set her back at all. This was a fight for the title shot, in my opinion. You know, a loss for the Karate Hottie doesn't mean much. So you can get a win, get right back on track. Who are they going to match her up against? That's a great question. I'd like her to see match up against maybe Tecia Torres. What do you think about that? I mean, there's a lot of girls in that division that we can throw out right here. But I think that was the one that makes most sense. I think they're closer in the rankings. So have a go at it. I mean, Karolina Kowalkiewicz, what is she up to? Does she have an upcoming fight? I think so. I think, who is she supposed to be matched up with? I can't even think of it right off the bat. You know, let me check the chat room, guys. I'm sure you're in the chat room chatting away right now. So let me check that out real quick. What do you guys think, though? Karate Hottie doesn't move down, but she's just even right there. I think Rose deserves the title shot. All right, so moving backwards. Jacare Souza, finishing everybody in the first round in his recent fights. Wasn't able to finish Robert Whittaker, though. He started off pretty strong. You know, he's finished 20 out of 24 fights. He had an early takedown, but he really slowed down in that second round. That's when you can tell that Souza was definitely getting a little winded. I'm not saying that he was having a tough time, but Whittaker was just landing these shots that really had effects on Souza. He just kept the low hands, knowing that Whittaker kept the low hands, knowing that Souza was probably going to go in for the takedown. And if he got on top, which he did in that first round, Souza was able to get on top of Whittaker in the first round. Whittaker did a great job staying calm and eventually getting out of that position. But at the end of the first, he was really pressuring Souza, and I think he finished that round very strong. If it went all 3 rounds, I think Whittaker definitely won that first round in my books. He rocked Souza in the second, too, as well. And he feinted with his left hand very quick. And the footwork was absolutely amazing. He wasn't allowing Souza to really plant much. So he was finishing with the amazing high kick and finished Souza in the second. Ends up calling out Michael Bisping, though. That's where we got to put the brakes on. I think Whittaker did an amazing job. You definitely got to push forward. This weight division, though, is completely backed up. I say you call out Luke Rockhold. Why didn't you call out Luke Rockhold? That was your shot right there. Jacare Souza versus Luke Rockhold was supposed to be placed up a couple of months ago. Rockhold got injured. We haven't heard much from him. They were recently saying that he might fight Anderson Silva. That fight got squashed. Anderson didn't want it. Rockhold most likely did not want it. Shit, I think I'm live on Ted's channel, huh? I think I'm live on Ted's channel. My bad, Ted. I did not change that. So my bad. I am definitely streaming live on Ted's channel. But to go back, fortunately, we're not on the Pure Evil MMA channel, unfortunately. But I guess I'll do the recap because I know that Ted's doing the Facebook here. So, all right, Jacare Souza. You could have said if he did not take this fight, he was next for the title after the GSP. You could say Yoel's next. Were they going to make that matchup next? No, I think this was a smart idea on Jacare's part. If he took this fight at Whittaker, I think that gave him a little more leverage over Yoel, honestly. But then again, Yoel did deserve it, beating Chris Weidman. You got Gegard Mousasi also right there. It's a tough one. I mean, you can match up Gegard versus Whittaker. You can match up Rockhold versus Whittaker. It's all the way to the top for this kid. He's a young guy coming out of Australia. Getting a win over Jacare Souza, that's huge. That's a big thing. But calling out Michael Bisping, I don't agree on that. All right, so Jeremy Stephens, not the best performance. I think Renato did an amazing job with moving outside, not getting backed up against the cage, and just kept avoiding the big takedowns there. Stephens was taken down in the first and third. He was just looking for those heavy hands, just really matching up, trying to square off with just a knockout. And that's what he's really been looking for. And I don't think that was a smart game plan here. He wasn't really fading much. He was, I guess you can say, chasing him, but at the same time his opponent was not running away, but really avoiding standing in front of him, obviously. You don't want to stand in front of Jeremy Stephens. He had amazing leg kicks, really busting up the inside leg of Jeremy Stephens. He was able to escape out of the back door early on in that fight, but it slowed down a little bit in the second round. His hand speed definitely slowed down. And as the fight went on, I think it was improving for Jeremy Stephens, maybe in the judges' eyes, especially in that third round. But I gave the fight to Renato. I almost think that he almost deserved all 3 rounds. One judge had it scored for Jeremy Stephens winning 2 out of 3 rounds. You can say at the end of the second round and the third round went to Stephens. I could see how it could have possibly went for that. But in my book, I think Renato won. I think the judges got it right here, getting Renato to win. This is a huge win for this kid. Jeremy Stephens is a top-ranked opponent, I think in the top 5, actually. So, big win for Renato here. A lot of people aren't aware of who this kid even is. This is an upsetting thing for Jeremy Stephens, though. Not what I want to see in the books of Jeremy Stephens. I thought this was a good matchup to kind of get him squared away, to keep moving back up, coming off a loss to Frankie Edgar. He had a win over Renan Barão. I think he did an amazing job in that fight over the former champion, but his opponent here tonight just did a great job with his footwork, avoiding the big right hand of Jeremy Stephens. There's really nothing more to say there. Amazing performance, 3 rounds, and he got it done. So Jeremy Stephens definitely takes a big hit to the stomach here on this fight, unfortunately. If you guys want to check out the full recap, I'm going to be quickly recapping the entire card on Pure Evil MMA episode number 43 on iTunes, Podbean. I got to thank everybody for this month. We almost got 7,000 downloads in the past 30 days on iTunes. So thank you guys so much between iTunes, Stitcher, and everything. Big shout out to Ted as well, who's doing his post-fight speech right now. Make sure you guys check out Evil Intoxicated, episode 44. We just spoke with James McSweeney from from season 10 of The Ultimate Fighter alongside Brendan Schaub, Kimbo Slice, Roy Nelson, who also fought tonight. And I had a lot of people asking me out there, what do you think? Is Roy Nelson, do you think he should retire? No way. I do not think he should retire. This is another guy who's fighting the top of the top elite guys. He's deserved his way into the top ranks. He had a very close fight with Derek Lewis. I think Derek Lewis deserved that win. But tonight, guys, I mean, he just wasn't there tonight. I'm going to give the recap. I'm trying to get the MMA holes on. Maybe I'll bring Ted on. I will bring somebody on for Pure Evil MMA episode number 43 to give the recap of tonight's fight in full. But tonight we just gave a quick main event. Make sure you guys check out Ted's post-fight recap on his Twitter page and also on his Facebook. I'm sure he'll be uploading it here on his page. I did not mean to stream on his page tonight. That is completely my fault. Big shout out, Ted. Big sorry for that one. But all in all, guys, let's rate tonight's card. Out of 5 stars, what do you rate tonight's main event? honestly, I think it deserves between 3.5, maybe 4 stars. I think that's a fair assumption of this main card. Maybe even a solid 4. You can make the argument for a solid 4 in this case. You had Demetrius Mighty Mouse Johnson tying the record of Anderson Silva. You had a huge upset with Jacare losing to Robert Whittaker. Namajunas moving up for a title fight. I mean, a lot of top-ranked opponents here tonight. So what do you guys think? I say 4. Let us know at Pure Evil MMA on Twitter, on Instagram, and also on Facebook. Have a good night, guys. I'm Evil Eddie from Pure Evil MMA, Front Proof Media, MMA UK. Have a great night. Behave yourselves.